Welcome to Living in Beauty. It's Monday, February 12th, 2018, day 574 on the road, and we're in Tampa, Florida. We love to go out to dinner, but never on Valentine's Day. We usually stay home for that night, throw something special on the grill. And this Valentine's Day, that something special is going to be held together with a big old hot pink flamingo bun. That's right, I'm talking brioche here. Beet brioche, the Dolly Parton of burger buns. Now, there's some great video recipes out there for beetroot brioche and breads, and that's because they're gorgeous and they're so easy you can do them in your RV. At first, our tiny 900-watt oven was a mystery, but now it's easy as pie. Sometimes we have to downsize a recipe or do it in batches or invent a new technique. But so far, the results are better than expected, like these beetroot brioche buns for the Sharp Grill 2 convection microwave oven. Now you need some special equipment for this recipe, but it's not expensive. And that's a 13 by 14 inch baking sheet. Now, I can't find a 13 by 14 inch baking sheet. So I made one from a piece of thick cardboard and lined it with aluminum foil. It's not for baking, just for proofing bread. So you preheat the Sharp Grill 2 convection microwave to 400 degrees. Select convection and push 1, which is preheat. Then you push 8, which is 400 degrees, and then you set the time for 40 minutes. Then rub the beet with olive oil and then place it on a silpat in the center of the turntable of the preheated oven and roast it until soft, about 40 minutes. When the beet is cool, discard the peel, then cube the beet and puree with 6 tablespoons of butter. This can be done with a simple masher or a hand mixer, but I used our Vitamix so I could avoid stains. Heat 3/4 cup of milk until it's just warm to the touch. Don't overheat it, or you'll kill the yeast. Dissolve the packet of yeast and tablespoon of honey in the warm milk. Then set aside the yeast and honey mixture and let it rest until it turns foamy, about 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, beat one of the eggs and set it aside. Sift 3½ cups of flour into a large mixing bowl. Add the beet butter and incorporate with a rubber spatula until it has a crummy consistency. Then pour the yeast mixture and the beaten egg into the flour and stir until a soft dough forms. Now for the sexy part, French kneading. Clear and clean your table and lightly spray the surface with olive oil. With a wet spatula, scrape all of the dough out of the bowl onto the oily surface. Now, in a standing position over the table, scoop up the dough with your hands and slap and fold. Do this repeatedly for 8 to 10 minutes. Throughout this process, the dough will tighten and become less sticky and more manageable. But before you do the French kneading, make sure your stabilizers are down and put some baby-making music on. The neighbor's imagination will run wild. Hey, if this camper's a rockin', somebody's probably French kneading, but you don't have to tell them that. Once your dough is smooth and elastic in texture, lightly oil the inside of a bowl that will easily fit into the Sharp Grill 2 convection microwave. I always use the LeCue silicone bread maker for proofing dough. I hope to post more about this great little bread maker in the future. Place the dough in the oiled bowl, then lightly oil the top. Close the tab on the LeCue bread maker or place a cover over the bowl. At this point, I could put the dough in the oven, close the door, and wait 2 to 4 hours. But it's too close to dinner time, and I need to speed the proofing. So I place a small sauce pot filled to half with boiling water inside the bowl on the turntable and close the door. Within 30 minutes, the dough is doubled in size and ready for the next step. Score the dough into 8 equal parts. Shape each into a boule. Then cover the homemade cardboard sheet with parchment paper, spray with oil, and place each bun on the sheet as far apart as possible while allowing space in the center for the pot of hot water. Very carefully, place the loaded homemade sheet into the oven. Now, spray olive oil on one side of a sheet of plastic wrap and cover the buns with the wet side down. Then, gently place a pot of boiling hot water filled to half in the center. Immediately close the door and proof for about 20 to 30 minutes. Again, this step is not baking, so do not turn on the oven for any reason. When the buns are proofed, about twice the size, take them out of the oven and set aside. Now, remove the round turntable from the oven and again, preheat at 400 degrees. Meanwhile, line the turntable with parchment paper. Whisk an egg with a teaspoon of water and wash each bun with the egg mixture, and decorate with sesame seeds if you like. I looked up Flamingo figures online, selected 2 and freehanded them onto the back of a cardboard chocolate bar wrapper and cut them out with scissors. Only 4 buns will fit on the turntable at once, so place 4 of the seeded buns on the round turntable, allowing room in the center for a small oven-safe container of hot water filled to half. Place the turntable, buns loaded, inside the preheated oven, then carefully place the container of hot water onto the center of the turntable. Close the door and bake for 15 minutes or until the buns are almost turning brown. Transfer to a rack to cool and remove any offending seeds. Repeat this step for the next 4 buns. Whew, just in time. Buns were out of the oven, dishes clean, and Jim was back from the market with fresh grouper and cucumbers, and I still have time to make a dressing for the spiral salad. Happy Valentine's Day from Jim and Carmen at Living in Beauty. Thank you for joining us at Living in Beauty. If you like this post and want to be notified when a new one is released, please enter your email address and click the follow button at the bottom of this page. That's it for now. Have a great week.